Oh, my brothers and sisters, testify. MTV's The Challenge Ride or Dies or Just Die. Oh my God, what an episode we got tonight. Oh, I am joined as always by the lovely, what's her name today? Okay, Mariah Defender and the Rook. Not today, Grand Poobah himself, the rookie. What's going on, team?
I kind of want to say the introduction was poor. You said the fabulous, good-looking Mariah Defender, and it was like, oh, and the rookie. I did not like that. That was a poor introduction, awful. And you brought me here because you was like, hey, you should be a part of this team. But I'm glad to be here, team. And we're here to talk about the challenge, which was a fun episode. But continue to take over Mike Knoxxx, who never changes his name.
No, I do. I was King Knox during the Wakanda phase. So I changed and I was tribal chief of staff, which I
still are. Still are.
So, but today's episode of the challenge, guys. I mean, as a lifetime watcher of the show, like myself, I'm a Mariah Defender is rookie. I would say this much: tonight's episode, I think, is historically goes down in history of the challenge in itself. Okay, first of all, I cannot remember. I know I'm wrong, but it's been a decade or so since there's been a mini final on an episode Mariah Defender.
It's been a little while. I mean, they do kind of little small variations of it every season, but this one was like a full one. Like it was like half the episode.
6 miles plus pulling stuff and sabotaging stuff, like all but throwing up and having to spend the night. They did. This was like a real early stage mini final, but like a day one kind of final event. This you could see this being leading into how the next days go. But tonight's episode was epic, led by Fessel and Mariah. But
they killed it.
Let me just say right here, and I'm no longer going to call him Fessel. I gave him the respect of calling him Fessel because that's his birth name. But I'm going to back to calling him Messy Fessy. Fessy, Facil, I had to write it. You're a dick. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why he's a dick. First of all, you are a crybaby. You literally, in the middle of the challenge, started crying because you said you're not part of being a winning champion. Well, stop losing. And then the show is called Ride or Die, guys. And we see what happened. We're just going to straight into this thing. Spoiler alert, okay, people? The teams break up. There is no pit this week. They just split up the teams, ride or die. You pick one, I pick one. The opposite goes to the opposite team, and I got them wrote down. They go into the deliberation to choose and pick, and for what? Because teams ain't flips a coin anyway. And then they all get screwed up. And I'll let you guys talk about that part, but I'll say the teams real fast. Mariah Defender, you got Fessel's team. Fessy, Casey, Jordan, Anissa. I'm sorry, Anissa. Mm-hmm. Bananas, Amber, Nelson.
No, wasn't it Chauncey?
I got them wrong.
I think it's Chauncey. It's Chauncey.
But no, I'm saying, hear me out. I wrote it wrong. I got the name of the wrong team on the wrong sides.
That's all right. You were trying to make sure you had everything prepared for the show. I get it.
Fessel got Tori, Olivia. I think I'm still saying this shit wrong. Yeah.
Fessy had Casey, Anissa, Bananas, Chauncey, Nelson, and Olivia. And I didn't get the last people because I know Tori and Devin, but I didn't catch that part.
Devin, Kenny, Amber, how you say his name? I call him Ryko. Horacio.
Oh, you can't say that name either?
Horacio.
Oh, so we both suck.
Devin and Jordan with Mariah, and I know she's trying to speak positive to it about a team. Well, don't underestimate us.
Yeah.
I watched this show. That team is stacked. Okay. And Mariah Defender I hope you read the tweet that just came out also about this guy, Fessy. Messy Fessy. Yeah. You belong. I know I didn't like you because you came from Big Brother. Point blank and simple, Fessy. You're messy. You're not a man. And I said it. I'm going to be quiet now. Mariah Defender, your turn.
This mini final was pretty crazy, and it was kind of interesting to see who ended up where. seeing Nani and Bananas being the very last team was very shocking to me. I did not expect that. I feel like Chauncey and Amber maybe don't work well as a team because when Amber works on her own, obviously she's Spitfire. She's crazy. She's moving. When she's working with Chauncey, it's like I feel like it's a little slowed down a bit. So maybe them being split is a good thing. I don't know. Nelson, Norris, do not let Nelson take the charge ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally in the lead, and then you start listening to this man, and what happened? Don't listen to him. Why did we listen to Nelson? Nelson and Fessel, we just don't listen to them. Don't.
You know, it's funny that you bring up that point because, right, I remember like we were talking a little bit before the show, and I was like, "Oh, right, I'm sorry, you just said his name. He was in the lead. Nelson, he was in the lead. I was like, oh, he's in the lead, and it's amazing how this challenge went because he was in the lead, and then Fessel and Mariah they took over, and I mean, such a dominant lead at that, just a dominant lead. I was surprised at. Because Horatio, is that how you say his name? Horacio. Thank you. See, she's
Horacio
there.
Rodriguez.
She's there. No. Stop acting like you were saying it right. Stop acting like you're saying it right.
Don't pronounce the H. Just say Horacio.
Oh, maybe I just won't pronounce anything. We'll just call him H. Yeah.
I call him
the safest thing. But he always seems so level-headed to me. Like, as the few episodes that I've been watching of the challenge, he always seemed calm, cool, collected. And with Olivia, who was trying her best, by the way, she was really doing her best. She said, I'm just doing the best I can. And here he is. He had a temper tantrum. I said, how and dare you, Horatio? I'm trying not to say the H. I'm just trying to say the O.
Just
the O. But he was really, I was surprised at him on how he reacted. And it was really cool at later in the episode where he acknowledged and he said, look, I'm just bad at communicating. I appreciate stuff like that for him acknowledging like, hey, I have my faults and this is something I need to work on. So I thought that was really cool.
No,
but
I'm glad you touched on that because I actually hit.
Mm-hmm.
I've only known 3 Olivias in my entire life. And I'm wrong for this. I got yelled at from my significant other. I said I had her pegged for big boobs, blonde, and she's not intelligent. But
Olivia?
Mm-hmm. But through this competition, she has proven to be one of my favorites on the challenge, who was also treated that way because she had big boobs and long hair. And that's my girl, Jenna, Mariah Defender Captaincy. That's one of my favorites of all time. And
because of the boobs?
No, it's just that people underestimate them because of the boobs and the blonde hair, and they're actually really good and smart, level-headed people. And she mentioned that about the splitting up and, even the thing with even her politicking that we called last week with Nelson. I just thought she was just so level-headed, like you said, through that thing. I don't necessarily, as a competitor, right, and I can only wish and dream I could still be as athletic as these guys are, but I know how that feels to want to win and not win. And then the thing about this show that I learned the most is to not always fall into what they're showing me, but try to listen to the confessionals, because he says the opposite of her in that. I had to walk away from me and so that I wouldn't yell at her. Right. You know what I mean? So it's just them not talking, and we're watching at that point being recorded live action as opposed to, what they're going through their head. They didn't, pull it aside and say those things. So, and also
I also appreciate that she didn't take it so personal. Now she was hurt by it, but she didn't really take that personal. And a lot of times when stuff like that, because I think we've all had something happen and you kind of take it personal, but she didn't take it that way. So I agree with everything you said about how you look at her, almost like a dumb blonde, right? Would you say, like, pretty much to sum it all up?
Yeah,
but
I was wrong completely.
Yeah, well, of course you are. Never me.
She's not even a natural blonde. I think she's a natural redhead.
Well, I already knew that. I already knew that by looking at her Instagram. So I already knew that. You didn't say nothing.
You can see the roots, but still, she was portraying a blonde. You get my point.
I do. Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge that I just knew everything. But carry on.
She's definitely one of the most level-headed, female competitors, because a lot of times, women, we just can be a little bit like, we take things personal sometimes. That's just how we are. Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. And you can defend her later today, because last week, Captain, you was the Tory defender. And I had to write down, or 2 weeks ago, I had to write down Jordan and Tory.
He was gaslighting her tonight.
Men versus women. And here's the thing about watching television being a guy on here with the girl, living with the girl, damn near pretty much 25 years, that the perception of what's being done and being said or can be two different things. I love the different because Tori said, well, why would you saying to me, I love you? His perspective was, yeah, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. And it's the difference that men we have to recognize and women have to recognize there's a difference of what's being attracted. You know what I mean? Like most men are attracted to physical ability, what you see on the outside. And most women are moving by
talking about physical attraction.
Right, how you treat them. You know what I mean? Emotionally. And that's where that got messy right there. I don't think Jordan necessarily led her on or gaslit her on. However, I don't think he was always forthright with her. But I also don't think that she was also understanding the situation. I think it takes two to tango. And Tori's not dumb also. You know what I mean? So I think a little bit it was overreacting, Tori. But, what do you expect, Tori? Just because I'm back in here and I'm in your bed don't mean we're getting back together. That's what he said, right? So, hey, that's what I'm believing. Mariah Defender,
I just think there's a lot of feelings between them. So Jordan should have just never actually done that, like altogether. Because I feel like it just confuses everyone involved, especially when, they were together for how long? They were together since Dirty 30.
He's like, what's that?
30. That's season 30.
So I couldn't tell.
That's 8 seasons ago.
We're on 38. Yes. This is a deep, long relationship. So he should have just steered clear, like getting in her bed. When she said she was in her bed naked and he's in there, okay, yeah, I'm going to be a little confused too, bro. And if you're telling me you love me, you can say I love you, but I know that it's not like this. You have to make sure that that line is there because you can't just be like, I love you. If you know that you don't want to pursue something like that with her again, say, I love you, but it ain't like that. That's where he messed up. Is he should have added that on. But don't be just like, I love you.
I feel like it sounds like we're both people. It sounds like both individuals should have had that conversation. It's a little bit of Jordan, but it's also a little bit of Tori. Like, what are we? I get what both of you guys are saying, and it's cool that I'm in the middle because I'm the middle guy. But it's like a little bit of right. I get what you're saying, Mariah Defender, where you're like Jordan should have made it clear, but I think also Tori should have been like, what are we? And I think because there have been feelings. It's so messy. It's a messy situation.
Messy Fessy.
Yeah,
it's all his fault. It's all his fault.
Fessy.
He's rubbing off on them like it's so sick. Fessy, get out the house.
We already have to deal with all these other things. Fessy, get out.
I can't believe how Fessy treated Mariah when she spent the beginning of the episode wiping away his tears, consoling this man.
And I would be crying too with that hair. That hair is hideous.
He does that on purpose every morning. Every morning he goes, hold on, let me get my swoop.
It's really disgusting here. I don't know. It reminds me, I'm a maintenance worker. It reminds me of a dry mop.
It's just like a dry mop, but I don't know what's worse, his or Jordan's, because Jordan cuts his on purpose that way too.
I don't know. I feel like Jordan just wait. I feel like Jordan, he seems like the kind of guy who rubs his hair on the pillow just to get electricity going for his hair. I don't know what's going on. Mike, what are you doing like that? Like you have hair? How dare you?
No. I haven't. I cut mine on purpose, but I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Oh, he could grow hair,
and it just sticks up on. It just sticks up on purpose. Yeah, it looks like a kid cut his hair.
It's an objectively good. He's an objectively good-looking guy, so he does stuff to make himself look unattractive on purpose. I don't know why. It's very odd.
He really? I mean, he looked like he has. I was gonna say he don't like this, and I'm a heterosexual male. I can sit here and say, "Oh, this dude's a good-looking dude." He just looked like someone who just wakes up and don't even have good skincare. Like I don't see that. I really don't.
Everybody's not you. You have good skincare. You take care of your skin. You go get the whole things pulled off and a little whatever this stuff is called.
I'm that obvious, ain't I?
No, yeah. Well, I've seen your pictures and I talk to you, so I know. But hey, your skin looks it's glowing. It's glowing. You know what I mean? Black male magic. How about that?
Rejuvenated,
rejuvenated. But no, as Mariah Defender is talking about this messy Fessy situation, is like she's right. That's what I'm saying. Like I hit her early on, like, yo, this dude's really up here crying. Like I'm like you and Josh are like the best of friends. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that a man can't cry. Okay. Right. Shout out to my man Jason Harloff, who out of reaction to Avatar got touchy by saying how it reminded him of family stuff. And I could see on the camera him beginning to cry. And that's in the most like, wow, you could feel the deepness of the family to the movie, whatever. I'm not knocking a person crying, but it's why he was crying. Okay. Today, my son got upset about something that happened at school, and I told him he couldn't play his game. He started crying. I said, "You gonna cry about the game? Like, no, cry. Make something be work. Remember when you were a kid? Your mom said, "I make you cry." Well, I know my mom always said it. I give you something to cry about, boy. You know
If I can be quite honest, because I'm a trauma dump individual. You said that your son cried about taking video games. I remember I got a whipping one time. Didn't cry. My mother said, "I'm taking that PS4." Cry Me a River was written because of my tears.
certain things I just don't think you cry for, and you don't. He's crying because he said, "I'm not as good as them." That that's what I heard. Like they won 2-3 years. I'm here. I'm just constantly losing. Maybe because of the choices you make. This is the game. Like we talked last week, Mariah and guys, about Jay. Jay is a really good comparator. He just can't win because the way the game is being played. Fessy played the game better. They call you Messy Fessy, and that name will continue to go down in infamy with this lore of this show because of what you just did to Mariah. I mean, look at these teams here. I know I messed them all up, so help me out again. But Fessy got himself. He has Casey. He has Anissa.
Yes.
He has Bananas. He has Chauncey.
Yep.
He has Nelson. He has Olivia.
Yep.
And he has Tori.
Oh, he has Tori. Okay. That was the last person.
Just look at those names. Like Chauncey's new, but you can see Chauncey's a competitor.
Yeah.
Right? You have Nelson. Yes. Frankly, in my opinion, all the years prior, we can make fun of Nelson. Nelson's having one of the best years he's ever had on this program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm acting like I know the history, but I know that he was always losing. So that's why everyone's laughing because I said yes. Like, I get it because I'm the rookie. Yes. But like I know so that
confidently.
Yes. Huh? Yes. So but no, I understand that he was like, what was it, 2-3 games ago when he won? He said, "I finally did it." So I understood that this year obviously has been like if I can use a wrestling term, he's getting the biggest push of his life right about now.
A Ricky Starks push.
And he probably will fumble it. And this the thing with Fessy is if he set himself with a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't win,
you're a loser, which I think you're anyway.
But do you guys? I mean,
Bonnie's face when they announced that there wouldn't be pairs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like, "Ah!" She just like.
Oh, when they did that, I said, "Oh." That was just so random. But yeah, when he said that there was going to be no more ride or dies, I said, "Whoa, that's going to be something big." There was a question I did have. I didn't write down anything like question wise, but like when they were coming up with this team, I know Mariah wanted both Jordan and Bananas, which would have probably helped her a lot because of that experience. So when I look at Fessel's team, he has a lot of experience. I think that's the thing, that it's more experience and more physical. They were saying Mariah's team is more like they're what they say, like thinkers or something like that. Yeah. Like they're more intelligent.
Jordan is very intelligent. Yeah, I honestly think Mariah just wanted Jordan to ensure that Anissa would not be on her team.
Yeah,
I really felt like that's what
it was.
Literally chose not having Anissa on her team over her man. Like it was that deep for her.
And if I could just shout out Jordan in that challenge. I don't know the history. I know you was Mariah Defender has made sure that I caught up a little bit with the history. But Jordan, from what I understand, back in the day, it seemed like impatient and all this stuff. He was really not impatient. I'm sorry, really patient with it, because when they were doing the challenge and all this stuff, it reminded me of when I was in high school playing basketball and everyone got annoyed with me when they picked me. So the fact when they were doing this thing, well, you said they were running how many miles? I forget how many
6 miles.
And matter of fact, it wasn't even that part. It was the part where they had to do the barrels and they had to do the like don't touch the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she wasn't doing it, and he was just like, "Yeah, it's okay."
I think that's been him the last few seasons that he's been on.
Sure.
He's kind of glibbed. I know that's not a word, you know what I mean? But
I was gonna say what?
Yeah, it's glibbed. But he's done that recently. Mm-hmm. But you look at you was talking about
sure.
The difference is like Nelson is just pushing through, but Cap, you was talking about I keep writing things down and trying to read them. But if you're looking forward at the previews of what they're showing us, right? Somebody's coming back again, right? I remember I asked that question. So somebody's going to show back up again. It's really confusing watching you know what's going to be in the coming episodes. You see, it looks like that's Nani in a neck brace.
Yeah.
Looked like that was her, and then the way the show goes, you don't know if it's her that's not competing anymore because that could be for precautionary reasons, or who else got hurt because he said you can no longer compete in my final. You know what I mean, so somebody gets hurt during this next phase. But you're right. If Fessy doesn't win this, you're right. But you know what this reminds me of? I'm trying to remember the number of the last time I remember them having teams like this, where it was just look appearing to be dominant. It had CT. It had remember they had the red team and the blue team, and the tall guy Kenny was on the blue team. And what's the big guy that passed out?
Oh, you talking about Biggie?
Big
Biggie?
Remember when Big Easy passed out that
Yeah.
season when they had the ropes to him?
Yeah.
That's what this can actually come out to be. And I brought it up say that team could not lose. They were kicking that team's ass from left to right until that final.
Yeah.
And you can say disqualification reasons, whatever the case may be, that team didn't stop. So in this competition, you never know who can win this thing. But on paper, my God, I can't see Bananas, Fessy, Nelson, Chauncey, Tori, Anissa. Like even yes, Anissa cannot do endurance challenges, but if you put her in a goddamn hall brawl, them chicks better watch out. Okay,
She does turn on in eliminations.
So this has been this is one of the best seasons I've seen in a very long time. Before we go, final thoughts on this episode. What we think is going to happen? I'm gonna start with the lady of the house, which I still haven't seen her defend Mariah at all here. Just you got your name up, but
Like when I talked about Fessy being a douchebag to her
El Douchey, Fessy Douchey.
El Douchero, yes, absolutely. Don't laugh at yeah, so I mean, I would say this season has had one of the best crop of rookies. Like that's the seasons that always are so good, is the ones with the best crop of rookies, because it just brings something new. Sometimes it's annoying to see the same faces, the same arguments, which is why there's been a lot of pushback with the Tory Jordan situation, because it's like, okay, we're used to this. We know what this is. But, you know, it happens. But I will let you in on some tea if you would like to know it.
Is this that?
Oh.
Yes. I want to hold on.
So you were talking about how someone's coming back. Now, that is not necessarily what's happening. At some point in the season, they will have a battle back. Like, you know, like a redemption type thing. So,
Redemption House.
Not a house, but like a redemption elimination type format. And someone will be coming back from that. So that's what that is. So I'm excited to see that.
I like that idea. Rookie?
I do want to sit here. I appreciate you giving me the floor, and then you try to interrupt me. This is one of the best seasons I've ever. Now I'm acting like I've watched a whole bunch of them, but but I'm having a good time watching this. This is like my first full, because I maybe watched when I did the challenge last year. I maybe watched one episode or two or whatever, but this one I actually know the names. I'm understanding. I know why Banana has the nickname now. I'm starting to understand this history and some things I didn't even ask for, but now I know. And I'm having a good time reviewing this show with you guys.
I was going to say that, and that's where I went. They were showing people hooking up. Mm-hmm. And no time in this show that I see Bananas ever push up on Mariah. And I said, who is Bananas with? I said, oh, it's only one girl left. Right? I said, it's gotta be Mariah. And it's not a bad pick. Like Johnny don't pick them bad. No. You know what I mean? Like
that's not his nickname.
They come.
That was funny. Thank you.
And the politicking begins. And if you're gonna politic, why not politic with Bananas? You know what I'm saying? You better, but Fessy, you're a dick. Your actions are dicky. Mm-hmm. The way you treated that girl was dicky. Mm-hmm. You're just an overall human dickhead. Okay? I would never say I couldn't beat somebody in a fight. But you get on your knees, I got on my knees, I got two bad knees, I'll beat your ass, Fessy. Okay? I will beat your ass now. I mean that. Because you're just going to treat people that way. Like, you in the confession, you can see this girl was trying to hold back tears. This was supposed to be your friend. This was supposed to be your ride or die.
And she even said in there, she was like, people said she defended him a lot of times, and even pointed out like I defended him, but now she's said, but you'll see Fessy's real side. And when they zoomed in on him, which by the way, terrible, you complimented my skin, thank you. Awful skin. So when they zoomed in, I was very upset at that. Yes, this is what you brought me in here for, to talk about people's skin. So yeah, he's a look at that.
Show him the skin.
Show him this is good.
And the thing that Fessy forgets is all these winners. Johnny got his first win because of his friends. Same thing with Jordan, because of his friendship with Sarah. It's a lot of things. These people got these wins because they were able to maintain friendships. If you're an asshole to everyone, you're not going to win.
So what you're saying is pretty much Johnny knew how to play the game.
Yes. And
until he became the game. Okay, Bananas is the game.
He has Motorhead playing
like the wrestling knowledge here. But no, and you know this,
like a Motorhead reference.
There are certain people that play this game very, very well. Okay, because they know how to either straddle, okay, or come in from the beginning. They've been knowing they're coming into this competition. You start to build your alliances from the day you leave this house. Whoever wins or loses from this competition should already be building relationships because that's what it's about. So you can go in here and trust. And like you just said, Sarah helping Jordan win. And yeah, Bananas to me still made one of the biggest dickhead moves in the history of the game. When he left that girl on top of that damn mountain, and they had a choice, Rookie, to either keep the money or split it with your partner. And he took it all. They worked together the entire season, and it got to the end, and he said that we had a choice. You can keep the money yourself because you had a better score than her, or you can split it with her and walk away. And he said, well, Teej, I'm sorry. I think I'll have to take the money. And he took the money. And it began a trend that what's her face? There was on that, I can't stand her country. I got my boobs done. I got my boobs. What's her name? Ashley did it too. All right. But when she did it, for what it's worth, she deserved to take that dude's money. He kept calling her all kind of bitches and stuff. And then got to the end, it was like, oh, you can keep the money.
I like took more of his money. Talking about you coming after my family.
Yeah, he was very disrespectful. But exciting episode. It picked up. And you was even mentioning last week how it wasn't too exciting. Mm-hmm. Are you not entertained now there, Mariah Defender?
I am.
You're entertained. Rookie, this your first year. Are you not entertained?
I'm having a blast.
So y'all don't know that. He's not faking. He actually is having a blast. Like, he truly, deeply loves a movie he can never let me admit that he loves. Just so you know. But what? I know that he loves it. Okay, you love Sonic. You love that Sonic movie.
I thought you were talking about The Notebook.
Don't do that.
I was trying to.
No, she's being very disrespectful. End the show. And will never. After I am done with this. I had a great time reviewing this, and she ruined it. Very ruined it. And I have homework too. She gave me homework. She told me to watch. Was it One Tree Hill?
What?
I'm gonna do it.
Hold on, we're gonna have a conversation, y'all.
No, I don't want to.
Next week.
I don't want to.